ordinary guys doing extraordinary things. The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with William Hunt, Savile Row, and Callaway.
When you think about the great Trilby Tourians down the years, there's quite a few names spring to mind. But one name stands out above all. Ice cool John Lynch. And this week at the magnificent Slieve Russell Hotel Golf and Country Club in Ballyconnell, Lynchy gets to defend his Irish title.
Last time out on the Trilby Tour, we were at Fox Hills Club and Resort in Surrey, where Ian Barker's blistering 5-wood into the final playoff green was only surpassed by his skill with the putter, as he saw off the challenge of James Heath, Anthony Atkinson and Duncan Bush to claim the Trilby Tour Championship of Surrey. Having already holed out from distance at playoff hole 2, Ian nearly finished with a corker, but in the end had to settle for finishing in some considerable style to become regional champion number 6 on this year's tour. So on we go to event number 7, and this week we head across the Irish Sea to the magnificent Slieve Russell Hotel Golf and Country Club in Ballyconnell, County Cavan, as another field of 120 golfers shoot for Trilby Tour International Final Glory and the Championship of Ireland. For Slieve Russell's debut, things just couldn't have been better. Glorious weather greeted the players at the start of the day on a course just born to host championship golf. Coming up on the show, we'll have our roundup of the top 10 players who managed to edge into the international final at the Buckinghamshire Golf Club come the end of the season. And not forgetting what it's all about, we'll have highlights action from the top 4 3-hole winner-takes-all playoff for the title. As always, shot of the day is up for grabs. And don't worry, of course we'll be making our usual visit to Rogues Gallery at the end of the show. Now, since his inaugural victory in 2008 at the international final, John Lynch has become a legend on the Trilby Tour. He added the Irish title to his CV last year at Druids Glen, and here at Slieve Russell, he will attempt something never achieved before, a Trilby Tour title defence. Here's the man himself, Ice Cool Lynchy.
Well, I've obviously got a tremendous amount out of it. Played it from the first event in 2008. Obviously winning 2008 was become a bit of a privilege actually, because it sparks the interest when you meet people and then they come and play themselves. I enjoy the little bit of pressure in the game when it gets down to the playoff, and then obviously because I've done it before, I suppose it's a little bit easier. So maybe that's, I don't know, maybe I look a little bit cooler than the other guys, but there you go, that's the way it is. It'd be great to win it again, but I've had my fair share, but I'll always give it 100% to see if I can win it again this year. So the qualifiers is the big thing, really. But at the same time, to be able to win this and maybe put a bit of folklore around it or whatever, maybe win it a few more times or whatever. And it's great the way we go crossing the ferry, load up the car, play a few games of golf on the way down, make a bit of a holiday out of it, and at the end of it have a competition that's set up the way this competition is set up, and always had a fantastic time. Dad introduced me to the game, and I've played golf with Dad probably every Saturday, every second Saturday since I've been about 12 years of age. So obviously there's a bond there through the game of golf. It was amazing last year to win in Druids Glen, because I had my friend Robbie on the bag in 2008 and I had Dad on the bag last year, and it felt even better. The golf course is in fabulous condition. The greens are taking a good iron shot, and the greens are running, I think, around 10.5 on the centimetre, and really, really true, and they're just absolutely beautiful. So just looking forward to getting to play the course, testing my game and see how I get on. I won't say everywhere I go, but the odd occasion you get a little bit of recognition or whatever. And a few looks, it's great. It's a bit strange, but yeah, it's good. You know, I only get it about 1 day a year, or maybe 2 days a year. Between this one and the final, maybe, but I'll take it. I said to my fiancée recently, there's probably 1 day of the year I can feel like Padraig Harrington or Rory McIlroy, you know, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's great.
Safely away at the first, John's bid to break 2 records, to defend the title and to win a 3rd Trilby Tour crown into the bargain, was off and running. We'll be back in a moment to see how John went over the 18. But first, it's time to begin this week's list of top 10 qualifiers for the international final at the Buckinghamshire Golf Club in a month's time. Paul Lowry's deft touch at 18 earned him a share of 9th place on 34 points. The 10 handicapper from Masserine Golf Club taking it all in his stride. Greenacres Golf Club powerhouse David Thompson munched up the par 5s with his big hitting game to join Lowry in 9th on 34. And making it a 3-way tie in 9th place, the first of 2 Carrick-Fergus members into the top 10, Matthew Walker doing what was needed to make the big show. There was also a tie for 6th involving 3 players on 35 points. Niall Martin booked his place at the top table with a great display. Off 14, the highest handicapper to make it through from Slieve Russell. Joining Niall on 35 points in 6th place was Richard Joyce, the 6th handicapper from the Autorad Golf Club, smiling his way into the top 10 and into the final. And then it was time for more smiles and a very special moment as the Trilby Tour's history began a journey across the generations. Simon Taylor was only a lad when he caddied for his dad Trevor at Moortown in 2009, and he was a player at Murray's Hall last year when Trevor took the Scottish title. But here at Slieve Russell, he stepped out of the old man's shadow and made history for himself, qualifying for the international final. A very proud dad was at the back of 18 to congratulate his boy. No hint of a smile though for John Lynch, I'm afraid. He had a mixed round by his own very high standards. It wasn't all bad by any means. In fact, he produced some classic Lynchy golf to set up chance after chance. But it turned into one of those rounds when the phrase, he left some points out on the course, summed the day up to a tee. And by the closing stretch, the only thing I see about John was the stare. Not even a cracking putt to finish at 18 could save the defending champion. John Lynch was left stranded on 31 points, and his dream of a Trilby Tour title defence became just that, a dream. No time for sentiment though. With Lynchy out of the way, a new name would be on this year's trophy. But whose? Cool as you like, KP Club man Richard Stewart fancied it might be his, and 36 points at least put him into the frame. Joining Richard on 36 was our second Carrick-Fergus man Noel Morrison, who needed that putt at 18 to make it into the top 4. But in terms of the playoff, it came down to local man Theo Coffey, a trainee pro here at Slieve Russell, to put the proverbial cat amongst the pigeons. This up and down at the last had the feathers flying, much to the obvious delight of the members here at Slieve. A shootout would be required to decide the top 4. And we'll have news on that three-man shootout, plus the two players who rose above it all to head straight into the playoff this week, coming up shortly. Firstly, though, it's time to slow it down and find out more about this week's hidden gem of a venue from the Director of Golf here at Slieve Russell, Paul Crowe.
This place is a little bit special. The entire estate spans 330 acres, of which 50 acres are actually natural lakes. We were able to create a golf course here that is really natural. There wasn't a lot of earth moved to get the predominant shaping that we have here. So it feels like it's been here for a long time. Now it is 20 years old, but it's a great test of golf, and probably a seriously underrated golf course because it's not that well known yet outside of Ireland. For professionals, it's just a smidgen over 7,000 yards, but we can make it as tough as we want because of the green positions we have. We have lots of pins we can play with. We had a pro-am here a couple of weeks ago where two European Tour pros played in it. They came first and second, funny enough. Peter Lowry won the event with a -4 over 2 days. So it's up there, it can be as competitive as we want it to be. We've also got a par 3 golf course, which is a proper par 3 golf course in that it's our longest hole in that is 180 yards. In fact, some of the pros that come here use that to hunt up the short game. The other beautiful thing about us as well is we're equidistant from Dublin and Belfast. The Trilby Tour is, for us, the leading amateur event in the British Isles, so it was a great coup to have the event come here. We've been looking for a medium where we can let people know about Slieve Russell and the facilities we have. We felt that the Trilby Tour was the perfect way to do that, and the buzz started yesterday, even before we started the cameras rolling today. We had the biggest member turnout in a long time on a Wednesday evening. And lots of people around the place. The setup's fantastic. It feels like a proper tournament, which it is. One thing I would like them to go away, it was a great experience of the total facility. I think they'll go away loving the golf course. You're not coming here just to sleep for the night, you're coming here to experience everything. That's really what it's about.
Back to the qualifiers and back to the top 4. Aidan Shanahan's fantastic round of 37 points left him clear of the shootout in second place. And putts like that meant the postman from Rosscray Golf Club had a clear shot at the Irish title, and didn't he know it. But the top score in regulation went to another Irish player making a bid for legend status on the Trilby Tour. Tom Muldoon made last year's London Club regional playoff and the international playoff final. So here at Slieve Russell it was playoff number 3, and the hope it will be third time lucky. On top of that, Tom had already qualified for this year's international final via Trevose earlier in the season. So Larry benefited from Muldoon's situation, and he, Thompson, Walker, Martin, Taylor and Joyce were heading for that international final. Shanahan and Muldoon were heading for the playoff, while Stewart, Morrison and Coffey were heading for the shootout with a chip-off at 18. As the rain began to fall, the first to hit was Noel Morrison. Not his Sunday best by any stretch of the imagination, but much to the surprise of the local golf gurus, it stayed on the green. Beatable, but in play. Next up was local hero Theo Coffey to start what was to become a big old head-to-head macho spin fest with Richard Stewart. This fizzing first effort beginning the entertainment. Richard Stewart to go next, and Richard's shot looked like a winner all the way. And for just over 3 seconds he was in the playoff, celebrations and all, before the spin did its thing. Morrison leaving William to signal a 2-for-1 offer in the next round. Bargain. At the second time of asking, Theo got it past the pin and then had to endure the squeakiest of squeaky bum times as his ball tried to get back to daddy. Eventually it ran out of steam just feet from the edge. But would it be good enough to put Theo in the playoff? Richard had plenty of space to work with for a dramatic shootout finish. This time though he was off target and out of luck. Theo Coffey and Noel Morrison were through to join Aidan Shanahan and Tom Muldoon in the playoff for the 2011 Trilby Tour Championship of Ireland, coming right up after the break here on Sky Sports. Stay with us.
The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with Callaway. The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with William Hunt, Savile Row.
Welcome back to Slieve Russell Hotel Golf and Country Club in Ballyconnell. It's been a real tussle to make the winner-takes-all top four playoff for the Trilby Tour Championship of Ireland, but we're ready to go. Before we get the playoff underway though, here's Slieve Russell's Director of Golf, Paul Crowe, with his take on the test ahead.
It's a great three-hole playoff. We're starting off in 10, going on to 11 and then back up 9, which we're playing as our 18 today. 10 is straightforward part 4. Tee shot's very important to get it away, get enough distance in that you're going in with a relatively short iron. It's okay when you're out there for the first 18 and you get a little bit of cameras coming in and photographers about and some spectators. But then when you've got a lot of people about, you might forget all about what you learned early on in the day. It's for the one with the nerve that's going to hold it there today, that'll win it.
First up, making his third Trilby Tour playoff appearance, the man with the short game, the wizard himself, Tom Muldoon.
My name is Tom Muldoon. I'm 49 years of age. I play out of Cabra Castle and my handicap is 10. My job is I'm a publican. My golfing hero is Nick Faldo. He was my hero in the 80s and that's my era, and I just thought he was a fantastic golfer. The football team I support, and I know it's hard to believe it, is Leeds United. My weaknesses on the course are driving. My strengths are my short game and putting. My feelings going into the playoff and my past experiences, not to expect too much. Enjoy the day, enjoy the spectacle, and if it comes off, fine.
At last, a Leeds United fan. Sorry, did I say that out loud? Tom off 10 in this playoff. He gets a shot at this first hole. He's determined it's going to be third time lucky. Very nicely away.
On the tee, Aidan Shanahan.
Aidan Shanahan with a majestic 37 to make top 4 today. Can he keep it going into the playoff?
My name is Aidan Shanahan. I'm 49 years old. Today I play our Rasgrave Golf Club and my playing handicap for today is 10. My job is a postman and I work out of a small rural village called Cloughjord. My strengths are driving and probably my weaknesses would be putting. My golfing hero would be Padraig Harrington, probably, for his 3 majors. My favourite football team would be Everton. My feelings going into the playoff, this is beyond my wildest dreams. Coming up here today, like, to celebrate my birthday, to play on the Trilby Tour was something I couldn't have dreamt would have happened to me. And to get into the playoff now, I'm just simply over the moon.
Happy birthday, Aidan, and a present from us at the Trilby Tour, a shot at the first hole. Don't spend it all at once. Well, that one's going right towards the sand trap. Oh, it's in and out. Might be his day after all.
Theo Coffey.
Yes, you heard right. This week's coolest name, Theo Coffey, about to get his playoff underway, is the very likeable local hero.
My name's Theo Coffey. I'm 21. I represent the Slieve Russell and I play off scratch. I'm trained to become a professional golfer. My strengths would be driving and short game. My weaknesses would be long irons. My golf hero is Tiger Woods. My sporting hero would be Tiger Woods. I support Man United. I'm feeling good. I think my chances are pretty good.
On the downside, Theo off scratch, so he gets no shots in this playoff. On the upside though, he knows this course like the back of his hand, although he probably doesn't know that bit very well. Trouble for Coffey.
On the tee, Noel Morrison.
And last but not least, Noel Morrison to the tee, our highest handicapper into this playoff and our second player there via the shootout.
My name is Noel Morrison. I'm 30 years old. I represent Carrickfergus Golf Club and I play off 11 handicap. I'm service manager for medical equipment. My golfing hero is Tiger Woods. My sporting hero is Roy Keane. I support Manchester United. My strengths on the course are my driving and my short irons. My weaknesses on the course were my long irons. Feeling nervous but confident. I've got a good chance of winning.
Well, Noel didn't sound overly confident to me, but he's got a shot at the first to help calm him down. And that will do very nicely indeed. And away we go again. Let the Trilby Tour playoff battle commence here in Ireland. The playoff underway, but I'm afraid it's a case of everybody in play take one step forward. Mr. Coffey not so fast. So a reload from the tee, and I bet he wishes he'd hit that one first time round. I'm delighted to say alongside me in the commentary booth as ever, Matt Woods. And Matt, what is it about being back in Ireland, eh?
Yeah, fantastic. Just look at the galleries, lots of people hanging around to see this. Wonderful atmosphere. Great venue. Tom Muldoon with his second shot into this first playoff hole. Trilby Tour veteran now.
And that's classic Muldoon. That's why he's been so successful on the Trilby Tour over the years, because he can produce golf like that time and time again, and with lots of playoff experience behind him, we know that Tom Muldoon is capable. Now, this is not a great stance for Shanahan. He's got it away, though.
Yeah, just important he advances that some 50 or 60 yards up the fairway. Super shot, does receive a shot here on this hole, so not out of it just yet.
Yeah, it's only Theo Coffey that doesn't get a shot. The other three do, so they've got to make use of that. Noel Morrison, very tall golfer. Quite a manufactured stance there, but he keeps everything in line.
Yeah, super tee shot, ideal angle into this flag. Our first signs that Tom Muldoon's not going to have it all his own way. Now for Coffey, lots of work to be done. No shots, had 3 already. Needs to jam this in close to the flag. Drag that a little left, but pin high. Now Shanahan, just from this left-hand semi. Important he gets this inside that 20 feet range. Does receive a shot and a super approach.
Yeah, the birthday boy will be happy with that one. I'm afraid for Theo Coffey, under pressure already, he's got to find something on this green if he's going to get himself back into contention. But for the others, well, it all looks good.
Yeah, the green a real feature of this hole. Lots of slopes and swales. Muldoon consulting with his caddy. Will definitely take his time here. Won't hit this till he's ready. He might even have 1 or 2 practice swings as well.
Yes, he's got a pre-shot routine that he will stick to every time, especially where his putting is concerned. But he is deadly. 1 or 2 putts almost every time from Tom Muldoon.
Yeah, this will feed left and then cut back to the right. Important he gets it up that left-hand side. You can see evidence of a swing there. And also the great pace of the greens. That's just dribbled down 3 or 4 feet further away than he would have liked.
Yeah, he always backs himself, though, from that distance, which is what gives him the confidence in the first place to go for it. Now, this is a must-hole putt.
Absolutely. Quick putt this. Going to swing off the right-hand side. Unfortunately, though, it's for bogey. If he doesn't hole this, his playoff could be over before it's begun. And that's going to be a very disappointing 6 for the local lad.
Well, on the hole they call Swan Lake. I'm afraid for Theo Coffey it's been a right old song and dance.
No tutus today though, just trilbies. Now Morrison, after that stunning second shot, real genuine birdie opportunity, will have learnt a lot from Muldoon's putt. Again, just under borrows. A solid looking start, looks very in control, very composed.
Yeah, they've played this hole well, and the guys with shots still looking at getting into the red here.
Now Shanahan for par. From where he hit his tee shot, a 4 here will be a great result. Just shy on pace, but that'll be a 5 net 4, so a good solid start. You don't have long to settle down in these playoff finals, but a new experience for 3 of these guys, TV cameras and a crowd.
But I'm afraid at the first, Aidan Shanahan, the postie, doesn't quite deliver.
And Simon will be here all day, but a 5 net 4 keeps him at level par.
Now Muldoon again. How's this for a pre-shot routine, Matt?
That's 3 practice swings. Got to be another one in there. That's 4. Putter in front of the ball, just to get the right line. Back behind the ball, right edge and firm.
I told you it works.
Yeah, very good. Great 2 putt. And a 4 net 3. Our first player into red figures.
So we've got a leader, but he should be joined by this man, Morrison.
Needs a little bit of concentration. This just off the right edge. Oh, just a little bit of work with the right hand there just to help it in.
That was a very nervous nudge from Noel Morrison, but he's there and joins Tom Muldoon at 1 under after the first playoff hole. And spare a thought for this man, Theo Coffey, the scratch golfer with all the Slieve Russell Golf Club members behind him. He's made a shocker of a start, I'm afraid, to this Trilby Tour playoff. In it goes, but it's not good reading, and Theo Coffey is going to have to produce some absolute magic on the next 2 holes. This massive gallery makes its way to the second playoff hole, a fantastic par 3 test to come. Stay with us here on Sky Sports.
The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with Callaway. The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with William Hunt, Savile.
Welcome back to the Trilby Tour Championship of Ireland here at Slieve Russell Hotel Golf and Country Club. Scenery doesn't get much more dramatic than this, and the drama is set to continue at the second playoff hole. Here's Paul Crowe with the lowdown on this fantastic par 3 test.
11's a tough par 3. You've got to carry over water. It's heavily bunkered all around. So again, you've got to be so accurate to get in close. And it's a tough green as well with a tricky pin today. That'll sort them out.
Well, simple as that. It is a very difficult hole.
Yeah, this is target golf at its best and at its worst. If you miss the green, you're in serious trouble. Now, Tom Muldoon out with his little rescue club. We'll be just trying to move this in just fractionally from right to left. I think he's just overcooked it though, and this is heading towards that left-hand bunker. Just flown over that. The good news is he's not wet yet.
He's not happy though, is he? Trying to stare that one down, but it's not going to move for him.
On the tee, Aidan Shanahan.
Next man up to the tee then, the man who has his birthday today. 49 years of age, both he and Muldoon 49 and off 10. First time that's ever happened. Very quick swing. Well, he likes it.
Yeah, quick rhythm, hands and arms very active. Will have a tendency to do that, just pull it fractionally left, and he's left himself a tough bunker shot.
On the tee,
And we just hope for him that hasn't plugged.
Wasn't far off, but I'm afraid in the context of this playoff, Shanahan now in some serious bother. Not as much bother as this young man, though. Theo Coffey, the Slieve Russell golfer, playing off scratch, just hasn't gone for him 2 over after the first hole.
Now, if he's going to contend and figure in this playoff final, he needs to jam this one in close, needs to get this inside 15 feet. Player who likes to move the ball right to left. So this flag will set up nicely for him. But once again, he's out of that early, and that's drifting right. And that's dangerously close to the water.
Yeah, as soon as he hit it, he said, "I've done it again." That's pretty much the direction that we saw him go on the first tee. Now, for Noel Morrison, pretty good news at this hole, Matt.
Yeah, he receives a shot here over the rest of the field. But another one that looks like he's gone left. Really reacting to the water, the players here.
Oh, he's lucky.
That has helped him, actually. I mean, that could have gone miles further. So the trees created a cushioning blow.
And he can see the green for the trees. There's a turn up for the books. And it's rather nicely poised, actually. Muldoon, the man whose short game we know is so brilliant, up against Morrison in a chip to the flag. This, though, is right in Tom Muldoon's territory. This is what he's known for on the Trilby Tour.
Yeah, and he's pulled a great lie. Ball sitting up in the fluffy grass. Just going to allow him to slide the club under the ball. And have a look at this. Oh, any good? What a fantastic approach.
He's done it again. Tom Muldoon, who made last year's International Amateur Final playoff, plus the London Club playoff, into his third 3-hole 4-man winner-takes-all shootout, and looking very good indeed. The short game wizard has done it again.
Coffey's left himself this long bunker shot, one of the toughest shots in the game. But no time for hanging around. Needs to jam this in close and make no worse than 3. And polite applause from the gallery, but a little too far away. And this is very quickly slipping away from him.
Well, it's good, but this is the Trilby Tour. It's not good enough. Now, this is what we love about the playoff. Morrison versus Muldoon. You do get these almost single shot head-to-heads, don't you?
Yes, and this is one of these definitive moments. Really needs to match Muldoon, put the pressure back on him.
No.
That's woefully short. And his only saving grace is the shot he receives on this hole, but that's just put him back on level footing with Muldoon. Now Shanahan has an opportunity. Tough bunker shots, downhill from the edge of the green. And under normal circumstances, a great shot, but that's left him probably the toughest putt on the green.
Yeah, Aidan Shanahan starting to realise that his chances of a big birthday present are drifting.
Yeah, and these guys are not in the gifting mood. Now Morrison needs to get this inside Muldoon's marker. Needs to make him putt first, make him think about what's going on.
Always good.
Oh,
Brilliant.
Very good. Great shot there. Calmed himself down. Beautifully executed little chip and run.
So a lovely recovery from Noel Morrison, which means for the moment at this second playoff hole, Heron's Haunt, as it's known here at Slieve Russell, it's still about Muldoon and Morrison. And for Coffey, well, he's got to just stay positive. He's got to make sure he walks away from this playoff with his head held high, no matter what. And he's got to start by popping this one in.
Just needs to start this down the right-hand side. Important he gets it starting on the right line. An aggressive attempt.
Well, it's a great place to be in a Trilby Tour playoff, but I think Theo Coffey may be just thinking about the weeks of banter to come from the fellow members here at Slieve Russell.
Absolutely. One of the joys of working in a pro shop. Now Shanahan, this putt gets tougher every time I look at it. This is lightning fast. Going to swing massively from left to right. Really just needs to get it on the right line and breathe on it. And in terms of his playoff, a must-hold putt. Does not want to go too behind going up the last.
Shoved it. And he knows it, and this one has raced on. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's almost got as far back as he had before. So work to be done.
Very lonely place down there on the green at the moment for both Coffey and Shanahan. And he will be feeling this.
He just needs to compose himself. This putt just needs to be on the left edge. Back up the hill, can afford to be firm and aggressive. And that's the trouble when you get a downhill putt as severe as that. The ball moves so quickly, so fast that the next one coming back up the hill, very difficult to convince yourself to hit it.
Just 36 seconds between those two putts from Shanahan. That's how long it takes to fall out of contention in a Trilby Tour playoff. It's routine time again.
He's down to 2 practice swings for this one. Obviously a short putt. Needs to give this his full attention.
Oh, well, in it goes. A little shimmy of the shoulders there. Tom Muldoon trying to convince the crowd that, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, all under control. No panic, no panic. Honest.
Mr. Mannering, 1 under. Tom Muldoon becomes the leader once again. Coffey so desperately needs this one to drop.
Yeah, real test of this, just off that left side. Beautifully executed.
All about experience now for the young man. He's just got to believe that this is all going to happen again one day. And this is part of the preparation. But he heads to the last hole of this playoff, 3 over par. Big putt for Morrison. Gets the shot, remember, so it doesn't matter that this is bogey. This to stay in the joint lead with Tom Muldoon, and my goodness, that was another shaky one.
Yeah, that was a close moment, and he knows all about it.
Honesty, the best policy on that occasion. Muldoon trying to convince us that all was good, but Morrison letting the crowd know that that was a little bit close. Shanahan rolls it in. I'm afraid playoff hole 2 has been a tough one for the birthday boy. And he goes to the 3rd playoff hole at 2 over. So going into the final playoff hole, it looks like it's Muldoon versus Morrison for the Trilby Tour Championship of Ireland.
The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with Callaway. The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with William Hunt, Savile Row.
Welcome back to Slieve Russell Hotel Golf and Country Club. The last playoff hole looms in the 2011 Trilby Tour Championship of Ireland. Tom Muldoon and Noel Morrison are locked at 1 under as they bid to become the new name on the trophy. Here's Paul Crowe with his final playoff hole summary.
9 is a proper finishing par 5. 9's one of these birdie holes. You can go for it. 2 good wallops will get you home, but trouble is if you miss the green, it's a very difficult green to try and chip onto to get par afterwards. But it's a real birdie opportunity, so it should be exciting golf.
Cracking closing hole, and it's going to be Tom Muldoon, the first man to wallop it.
Probably doesn't have the armoury to get up here in 2, but that's not his game. He'll just be looking to leave himself in position for a good yardage for his 3rd shot. So important he finds the fairway.
Got to be a little careful of those bunkers.
On the tee,
Just going to slide by the left-hand bunker.
Yeah, he's okay. And this is the man that he is in direct contention with for the Trilby Tour Championship of Ireland, Noel Morrison.
Will need 2 of his Sunday best, but does have the armoury to get this up onto the green in 2 shots. So he'll be going at his tee shot. And he's spun out of that. I fear that's right. Good news, it's still in play. But he'll have a bit of tree trouble with his 2nd.
Yeah, he really did want to bounce that down the fairway. Morrison gave it everything there. Now for Shanahan on +2. 3 shots off the pace. 49 years of age today, Aidan Shanahan. But this has been a tough experience in this playoff, and he joins Morrison up there in the trees, but we can see the ball. But here's the young man that has had the most torrid time. Theo Coffey needs to show us on this final hole what a good golfer he is.
Yeah, he can definitely get up here in 2. He's thrown everything at that.
What a shot.
Just down the right, but that's okay. If he's pulled a good lie, that brings the green into play.
Possibly Gallery of the Year here at Slieve Russell, certainly giving KP Club a run for their money and following the playoff drama to its conclusion. The 2nd shots were nothing to write home about. All 4 players managed to get the ball to go forwards as the pressure came to bear. And let's leave it at that. Morrison had the first chance to attack, but he left the door open, falling short of the target. Morrison left to ponder, but Tom Muldoon knew that this was his opportunity. So here he is, Matt, the man of the moment.
Yeah, played this hole beautifully, completely within himself, played to his strengths. Tough flag. Anywhere inside 25 feet is a great shot, and he's just got that tier behind the flag that you can use to help him.
Oh, beautiful. Well, Tom Muldoon has been in the shadow of John Lynch, the Irish champion, for some time. And with that shot, he has every chance of stepping out into the light. Brilliant from Tom Muldoon.
Shanahan can't win. Let's see a bit of a grandstand finish. See a moment of brilliance. Oh yes, look at that. Crowd favourite. Lovely bit of backspin.
Well, it's taken it way back down the slope. And for Aidan Shanahan, I'm afraid the birthday party has come to a rather abrupt end. Nice finish from him, but it's not to be his day. Same can be said for this man, Slieve Russell's very own Theo Coffey, but Matt perfectly placed here for a big finish.
Yeah, an awkward little shot this, about 60 yards, a flag tucked on that front corner, so he needs a moment of magic to get this close.
Oh, get in.
Oh, fantastic. And a moment of magic he has provided. What a great way to finish. Nice way to sign off. And as you said earlier, a great experience from him. He'll learn plenty from today. And will hold him in great stead going into his future.
It's a tough school. Here's the Trilby Tour. And Theo Coffey with some really good stories to tell around the clubhouse over the coming weeks.
Now Morrison has a decision to make here. Does he try and chip this in, or does he just rely on Muldoon missing the putt?
He's gone for it. Oh, but that may cost him. That was a bold move from Morrison, and it hasn't initially paid off.
No, just given Muldoon a bit of breathing space. That's left him a tough putt back down the hill. As he's done all day, just confirm with his caddy his line.
Well, Ireland has provided us with some great Trilby Tourians over the years, and this man, Tom Muldoon, now with a chance to put himself right at the top of the tree. This to be champion of Ireland. Oh, not quite this time. I think he's going to mark it.
Absolutely, marking it's the right thing to do. Take your time, enjoy your moment. It's a victory he so desperately wanted.
Yeah, worth the wait though. Really did want to hole it from there for the big one. But Morrison, I'm afraid, has missed his par putt down the hill, so coming back up for a bogey.
That kind of confirms that Muldoon is going to be our victor.
Well played, Noel Morrison, giving it a really good shot, the 11 handicapper today. But I'm afraid it wasn't to be his day. And he knows the writing is on the wall, but we'll see him at the international final at the Buckinghamshire Golf Club. And now it is Tom Muldoon's time.
Yeah, great supporter of the Trilby Tour over the years, and thoroughly deserves this victory.
Fantastic stuff. 4 years of trying and 2 playoff finals without a title. It's no surprise to see Tom Muldoon letting the emotion show. He's the Trilby Tour champion of Ireland. And that means that 7 regional champions have been crowned now with 3 to go. It's back to the south of England next week to Goodwood as another 120 golfers stake their claim for the Trilby Tour Championship of Sussex and a place at the international final at the Buckinghamshire Golf Club. And remember, Monday nights 10 p.m. on Sky Sports, it's Trilby time. So at last the dream has become a reality. Tom Muldoon is the Trilby Tour champion of Ireland. Congratulations to Tom, he's the winner.
The course was magnificent, great atmosphere, loads of people out watching. I was a little bit nervous, not too nervous, because I played in a few events and I was very determined to do well in the day. I had 2 putts to win the title, and they say if you have 2, take 2, and that's exactly what I did. And I was just overcome with delight, and it was something I've always wanted to do. I was just determined that this time I was going to pull it off.
Don't move a muscle, we've still got some Slieve Russell goodies for you. First up, shot of the day. No hole-in-one in Ireland this year, but this was a popular shot for our Trilby Tourians into 18. Pulling it off, though, took something special and more than a bit of guts. Johnny McGoey nearly attaining perfection with his approach, and that's this week's shot of the day. Well done, Johnny. Now, every single shot here on the Trilby Tour at Slieve Russell was a thing of beauty. Apart from these shockers, that is. Here's some bump and run, minus the P and the run. Good choice to leave the flag in for this shot. No, missed it. Our first consecutive shot shenanigans now. And you know what they say, to err once is human, but twice, well, that's funny. Now, you know the routine here, there's nothing like good distance control, and everybody say after me, and that was nothing like good distance control. I thank you. 18th, tough stance, fluffy lie, big gallery, TV cameras, you do the math. Oh yes. Back to the Valley of Despair now. and safely up to the plateau of grief. And this week we've saved the best till last. Enjoy. What a day, what a venue, what a tournament. Here's William.
Just wonderful for Tom. I mean, Tom's played in this now about, it's getting on for nearly 25 times now, I think. And he kept threatening he'll win one, and I think today it wasn't a case of if he'll win one, it's a case of when. I mean, the grit and determination, he looked like Clint Eastwood coming down that last hole. He's one of my favourite players in this tournament, and just a beautiful moment. The welcome that Slieve Russell have extended to us this year has been fantastic. I had a really, really good crack here. The golf's been brilliant, the course is magnificent. Next week we're off to golf at Goodwood, where we're going to find ourselves the champion of Sussex. And I've got a pretty strong feeling I'm going to enjoy myself there at Charlie March's playground.
Now, just when you thought you'd seen it all, along comes another Trilby Tour extravaganza. And next week, we feel the need for speed. It's planes, trains and automobiles. Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. We're off to Goodwood for event number 8 on this year's tour, when everything happens all in one dramatic day as the, no pun intended, reigning Trilby Tour champion Chris Dyson goes on his home track again, no pun intended, to see if he can pick up a regional title to add to his international crown. For more information, go to www.williamhunttrilbytour.com. We'll see you next week.
Ordinary guys doing extraordinary things. The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with William Hunt, Savile Row, and Callaway.